And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Leo-sama, who asked the question, who would win a fight, the Winx Club or Mysticons? Both are series that I did not clearly watch. Actually, both are Canadian, because Nickelodeon is actually Canadian. The Winx Club was on Nickelodeon. The Mysticons were, I think, also on Nickelodeon, from what I could find. But they were on at different times, or like different time periods. They basically it's the same principle overall. It's like magic, all that stuff, but in different contexts. With the Winx Club, they were fairies, more or less, and they had in the Winx Club themselves, where comprised of about 7 individuals, each with their own specialty. Whereas the Mysticons they weren't fairies so much. They were like mystical people. You had humans, but the dwarves, elves, that whole thing. But they were designed differently. And I don't mean like designed differently. I mean like the principle of the world was designed differently. They had special ability, Mysticon abilities, but we never really see all of them. There's also a big difference between putting these two together in terms of a group of verses. The Mysticons there was like a group of 4 of the Mysticons. There weren't actually a lot of them. Whereas the Winx Club has 7 members. But that is where things kind of, as you can see in this image, there's 4 of them right here. Those are like the 4. You had side characters too, but if you're talking about like the main groups, there's your main group. Whereas that's not even the main group of the Winx Club. The Winx Club actually had about, like I said, 7 overall members to them. Each fairy had a different ability to her, or a different type of magic. Bloom was more or less the leader. She had fire-based attack and was the most powerful fairy of the team. Stella was very artistic and had light-based attacks. Flora used basically plants and nature. Musa used manipulated sound waves to form attacks, used music. Tekka was a techno fairy. She used technology-based magic to manipulate technology. Ashia was basically a water manipulator. And then, oh crap, I took my glasses off before I could read the name. Roxy was like an animal kind of whisperer, if you will, manipulated the wildlife. They're all, so being fairies, they all have the ability of flight, so that's all well and good. The Mysticons themselves, though, that became tricky to be like, okay, who's who? The leader of the Mysticons was, I believe the name of the character is Emerald Goldbraid, if I got that right. Nope, that's not her. Where is the Zarya? It was crap. Where is the leader? Princess. Oh God, naming. Arca. If I heard it, I'd have a better time. Her last name's Goodfay, but Arcana. There it is. Like arcane. Oh, like arcanic magic. Okay, Arcana Goodfay. You a good Fae girl? You a good Fae. But as the leader of the Mysticon, she is, she's technically the most powerful. Her Mysticon ability basically grants her telekinetic power. She can utilize her psionic abilities to move and propel objects such as rocks or stones from a distance. They are fueled by her inner fury and rage. Upon learning that she had a long lost fraternal twin sister, her eyes glow white and her telekinetic aura green. Kind of ravenish, really. Her Mysticon weapon is as a Mysticon Dragon Mage, she wields a mystical staff of great power, which signifies her role as a leader of the quartet of heroines. From it, she emits powerful fireballs and informs colored bright green. Informs colored bright green. I'm not certain what that statement means. She can also emit the flames energy from her hands and even convert them into any shape she wishes, such as nets or rope or a protective shield. And right from the gate, even though there's 4 versus 7 in this fight, I can already tell you the Winx Club, before we get into the other members of the team here, actually are going to be at a disadvantage in the fight. They got a numbers advantage, 100%, but in terms of sheer abilities, even like the individuals who don't have all of their abilities fully explored here, like their Mysticon abilities, these guys already have more skill on them and more technique and weaponry than the Winx Club do. Emerald Goldbrand, which is, by the way, Arcana is the green woman with there. Arcana Goldbrand is the woman in purple here. Looks kind of like Hawkeye, but she's not the archer. She's a dwarf knight. As a Mysticon knight, she wields a sword and can summon a shield of pink mystical energy. The shield has at least two forms, appearing as both a typical arm-mounted long shield as well as encompassing sphere. Eventually, she was given a mystical trident, a silver trident by Queen Trufin, herself, as gratitude for saving the thing most dear to her, her young daughter. It can only be used underwater, though, which makes it a little irritating. Capable of generating strong bursts of white electricity to induce great bodily pain from a distance or call upon those who wield the said trident. She eventually created her pink Lance of Justice to enhance her pink Unicorn Bracer temporarily. It generates powerful bursts of white lightning. As unknown, she still wields it after destroying the Spectre hand with it. We can assume, because it's unknown, we'll just go with the assumption she does have it. Her special power is never revealed, but may be shown in the comics or chapter books, but it is not confirmed if the pink energy shield frequently used counts as such. And you know what? That is fair. So she's a knight, she's got a blade, she's got a lance, she can create an energy shield. There you go. So then you have Zarya Moonwolf, who is the main character. She is the one in blue. She's the archer right there. She's the main character. Her personality is very tomboyish, all that. Headstrong, tough, hard-nosed, short-tempered, tomboyish orphan who does her best to help the other orphans and cares for Choco and Piper, or whatever. We don't know. We never find out what her Mysticon abilities are. Apparently, this show got canceled before there was not. They say there's not enough episodes. But her weapon is, as a Mysticon Ranger, she wields a mystical short bow which fires mystical arrows comprised of white lightning-like energy to stun opponents from a distance. She eventually learned to trap those in a net attached to one arrow. And it's stated by Queen Necrafa that she never misses a target. So, allegedly, she's basically the Hawkeye of this series. Last but not least member of this team is Piper, if I'm not mistaken. Where are you, Piper? Piper Willowbrook, who is an elf. Yeah, she's an elf. She's a Mysticon striker. She wields a weapon which is 3 interconnected hoops that can be collapsed into a single ring, as thrown like a flying, basically like a boomerang. This can be converted into energy ropes that can attach and act as grappling hooks. In addition to her mystic hoops, she has the fairy ability, with her Mysticon ability, to emit strong beams of fairy light from her hand, mainly in the shape of a teeny sparking yellow orb. She calls this her Pixie Blast attack. Other abilities that Mysticon strikers possess are inaccessible and underdeveloped due to the Codex being drained dry. Okay, I have no idea what that means. But yes, so the problem the Winx Club now, between the Winx Club, they have more diversity overall. They have elemental attacks, water, light. Actually, they don't have wind, but they have water, light, fire, nature, animals, sound, technology. Problem right at the bat is Techno Angel Techna is not going to be able to do really anything in this fight. There's no technology involved in this fight. So Techna's kind of going to be put to the wayside unless she can get her hands on some tech. Also, if there are no real animals, if she can't summon any animals nearby, Roxy's kind of not going to be any use in this fight. So that's 2 of the standard Winx Club down. She can maybe try to fly in and grapple a little bit, but the problem here on the Winx Club side is all 4 of our Wixicons are like warriors to some degree. They are actual fighters. They are trained with weapons. Add on their actual abilities, and their weapons all have abilities too. Hell, Arcana alone, her telekinesis would pose a serious problem to him, because she can actually basically pull them out of the sky, and she's got fire capabilities, which can at minimum counter Bloom, or at least match her. And then you have Aisha, who uses water, but that might put out the fire, but that allows Emerald to be able to use her lightning staff and her lance, which can still fire lightning. Not to mention she has the energy shield. And then you have the arch. You have oh god. Well, I am blanking on. I just said her name a little while ago. Zara. It was Zarya. Then you have Zarya, who can also pick them out of the sky. So honestly, their ability to fly is, and allegedly she never misses. So their ability to fly is actually not going to help them in this fight. Add on to the fact that the Mysticons actually have diverse abilities individually among them that pretty much makes them on par with the all set abilities of the Winx Club. I would actually say the Winx Club is probably going to lose this fight because all the Winx Club only have their one specialty. Whereas, think of it kind of weirdly enough like Ruby. I don't watch or read, but I know a little bit about Ruby, and I know about the semblances. Each one is different and unique among individuals. That's kind of what this is here. They all have their standard weapon fare, their abilities that come with the weapon, and their training, but they all have their own semblance, or in this case, Mysticon ability. So this basically gives them a very strong edge over a group like the Winx Club, who only have each other's own individual ability, and some of those abilities aren't even useful in certain scenarios. If you get Flora stuck in the city, her powers over plants are pretty much nothing. If you get Techna stuck in the woods, her abilities are nothing. So so what could really make the fight work for the Winx Club is if they're in a place that can help benefit the entire team. Honestly, a zoo. If the fight were to take place in a zoo, Roxy's got her ability to manipulate animals to whatever degree she can. Let me actually be confirming that real quick. She loves animal according to her dad. She thinks the uglier and dirtier they are, the better. She can identify spiders by scientific name. Honestly, I'm actually looking this over. This doesn't really say she can manipulate animals. I've been going under the belief that because she's got a natural empathy for animals, she can kind of command them. But although her kind nature and love of animal makes her a perfect fairy animal, she has no problem sticking up for herself when she needs to. I'm guessing she can call upon animals for help. But yeah, so if they're in a zoo, that's kind of there's some tech there that keeps the animals under control. There are animals there. There is plant life there, obviously. So that would be the perfect battleground here to make use of the full team's abilities. But even then, Emerald having a shield that you can surround, and Arcana having a fire shield that you can make really means that most of the attacks aren't going to be able to get through. Most animals aren't going to want to go up against fire. In fact, fire is basically going to be just the animals I think are basically going to be driven away by fire alone. So unfortunately, even if we give it an area where Roxy has the ability to call upon animal friends for help, the animals are going to be scared away by Arcana's fire anyway. So right at the gate, that's kind of pointless. So Roxy just kind of thrown to the wayside. Techna in this scenario would have some technology available, but Arcana's telekinesis being, whatever fairy they see as the biggest threat, or is going to be causing them a lot of problem. I have a feeling that you get Emerald, and you get Emerald, you get what were their names? Emerald, Piper. I have a feeling because they all have range weapons, they all have range weapons. Even Emerald's got her lance, which fires lightning. They are gonna have no problem dealing with the Winx Club ultimately. The Winx Club would not go down without a fight, though. They would be able to throw fire. They would be able to throw sound waves. Sound would actually be a good weapon against them because they have no defense against sound. Unfortunately, with Leader, being decisive, just telekinetically just whoo, and then maybe Emerald being a knight, just boom, smacking her, knocking her out. If this fight gets into the physical fight, I don't really see the Winx Club having good odds against them. So even though the Winx Club do have numbers, and they have a lot of diversity among them, it's not the same as an actual, it's the type of diversity that the Mysticons seem to have on their side. Despite the fact they're smaller numbers, they are more well-rounded as fighters, instead of having one specialty. And I think that's really what makes the difference in this fight. So ultimately, my money is on the Mysticons. But that is just my opinion. As I said, I've never watched these shows before. I'm only going by the information I can find. If you have watched these shows before, let me know if you actually think the Mysticons would win, or do you think the Winx Club would ultimately take them over. Now, keep in mind, too, I am very well aware there are many other characters in both the Winx and Mysticon show, but we are dealing mostly just with the main team here. So that you can't just say, well, what about this character who showed up in this one episode? It's that's not what the versus is. Let's be honest here. That's not what the versus is. That's not what's being asked. Anyway, I digress. What do you think of this fight? Do you agree with the Mysticons winning, or do you think the Winx Club would win? Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. I will be back a little later with Zompacto video, and where me and my girlfriend are going to see Venom. Let there be carnage. Should be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later.